welcome to the very first episode of ADROSONIC Pulse, powered by vision, driven by technology. I'm your host Maurvi Sharma, and we're thrilled to kick off this journey with you. ADROSONIC Pulse is a podcast which is all about where technology meets innovation, business meets transformation, and together we're bringing to you a place where we have conversations that shape the tech landscape today. In this debut episode, we shall be talking about how data and analytics are helping businesses make smarter choices, spark innovation, and give them a competitive edge. We'll hear from Aventum, one of our trusted partners and a global reinsurance group that is redefining the industry through innovation and building stronger partnerships and providing its customers and clients services and outcomes. We will also be having a fun rapid fire round at the end of the podcast, so make sure to stay in tune for that. Joining us today is Adelaide Meal, the head of data at Aventum, a highly accomplished leader who is known for her expertise in data analytics, predictive analytics, and business intelligence. Apart from a professional journey, she brings out her inner artist through dance, music composition, and painting. Welcome to ADROSONIC Pulse, Adelaide. We're thrilled to have you here on board today.
Thank you, Mavi. I'm really pleased to be here as well with you.
Yes, absolutely. So, just to kick things off, can you share a bit about yourself and your journey? How has it all been for you?
So first of all, I am a very passionate person. I am all about the life loving. This is something for me really important. I'm just very happy to wake up every day and being alive. I do love evolving every step of the way as well, because I have one motto, is what doesn't evolve me, doesn't involve me. Right. So this is what I live for as well.
That's a beautiful thought, actually. Yeah, very few people think about evolving in life, Yeah, so that's a really good thought.
So evolving, of course, every day, but also evolving with the challenge. And the challenge is trying to transform them into opportunities. And then I realized that my new passion would be data. Because with data, literally, we can tell the untold.
Right.
And with data, there is a lot of story to tell. And believe me, I had a lot to share.
Of course. Yes. All right. Thank you. That's actually very inspiring to know that how your journey has been like. And I believe you're from France.
Yes. I think you noticed the accent, right?
I mean, the French have a lovely accent. Yes. So it all began to you in France.
Yes, of course. Yeah, born in France. And then after I have been quite traveling, to be honest. So in the data field, I started in France. Yeah, that's true. But then after I went to work in Spain as well, South America, Switzerland. And now I am based in England. I had up there. So yeah, learning the English on the go, learning the data on the go, the programming language on top of that.
Yes. And you have colleagues in India as well now.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. So you've had an impressive career, right? In the field of data and analytics. So how did you pursue a career and how did you feel like getting into data?
That's a very good question. I guess, as I told you earlier in the little introduction, what passionated me with data is that literally is this story that we can tell, the storytelling behind the data. And data is surrounding us every day. And as soon as you're actually born, somehow you are creating data because you are starting to talk, starting to do things. Obviously, from a business point of view, data is really important. It's the most valuable asset that a company can have nowadays. So I get very passionate about that, but I didn't start with data. I literally learned everything on the go because I did more a background of digital marketing. That was the field that I was in years ago. And being in that field, what I realized, what I really enjoyed is the reporting. So looking at the data, understanding why this marketing campaign didn't work, actually become more successful. So understanding really those kind of story to tell with the data, that's what really passionates me. So then after that, I jump into more a data field and learning on the go. So obviously I didn't do that study of programming. So I learned myself, programming on myself, with the heart, how can I do my little analysis. And I went really growing that way. And I had the chance to arrive in UK. So that was 2016. So I got this company that recruited me as a data analyst management. And that company, basically, they were at the beginning of their digital transformation. And when we talk about digital transformation, is actually about data transformation. What happened really, and I think I was quite blessed on that one, but at first I didn't find that very good. I arrived in England. This manager obviously recruited me for the job. But then 2 weeks after that I arrived, he announced me that he's leaving. And I was like, oh my God, my English was not that great. I mean, I could speak English, but it was not perfect. Nobody really knew what I was doing there. But I remember one thing he told me, he said, you seems very motivated on what you want to do and you seems to know the path you want to learn. So I give you a contract of 2 years, do whatever you want with it. And I was like, wow, okay. So I'm alone now. So that's how I literally kind of little when growing with the data space. I was on my own, so I started to like look at all the brands. There was 46 brands in that company, so it was quite a huge company. It was a building distribution company. They are like literally in 68 countries. And I started to creating the tag management and like web analytic of all the brands that they had like a website. Right. So that was my first like kind of little mission. And then I look at, the sales, for example. And I realized that there was like some sales that we could make, but we were not making them based on like obviously some reason that I have in that day. Of like, for example, we are selling pricing of product. We were selling them at a really high price compared to our competitors. So we were buying from the suppliers at the price that our competitors were selling it. And it's like, we need to do something here. Right. And because I didn't have any boss, I reached out to the CEO. At first, he didn't want to talk to me. But after, like, I find a way. And he let me literally make this little proof of concept of like dropping the price. And that's where actually I think I really put my feet into the data, because we start to make like so much money. It was quite a very positive experience. And after that, in the business, some people heard, this little French, something happened there. And I had literally the opportunity of like 2 persons coming to me and ask me for a job. So like I had 2 opportunities that come to me right after that. And I chose this opportunity of like, it was as part of the digital transformation. We could literally create the digital hub of the company. And I was obviously looking after the data. So that's where I become the data manager. And yeah.
So that was a natural shift from digital marketing because you were around data and reports. So that was a natural shift for you to getting into the data field.
Yeah.
And it's incredible how you explain your journey and the challenges that you face. It's very difficult when you're not part of the field from the very beginning and you have to take up those challenges yourself. Yeah. So kudos to that.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Yeah. Also, there was the language that was different as well. My English was not that great at that moment, so it was quite complex to actually have this proper conversation of like data heavy, techie savvy in a language that I was not very comfortable with at first.
I can understand. So now that we know what inspired you to pursue a career in data, let's talk about how you landed up being the head of data at Aventum.
I guess like everyone, I went for an interview and then they get me in. But obviously I was very interested about the project, right? So the way it happened is someone called me telling me that there is this job happening in Aventum. It was the first time I hear about reinsurance. I was like, insurance, surely I know, but reinsurance, what does that mean? And so this person called me, tell me about like the project, like from a tech point of view and data. And all of a sudden I was like, yes, I kind of feel it. I want this challenge. As I told you earlier, I love challenges. And because Aventum is going through like a massive transformation. They have been growing like so fast that basically I was like, okay, I want to be the head of data and building the team and changing the whole data architecture. Exactly.
Yes, that's nice. All right. So for those who may not be familiar with Aventum, can you give us a brief overview about what the company is about and what is their approach towards driving innovation through data?
Yeah, sure. So Aventum is a global reinsurance company. In this company, we have obviously central services and the broking area with Concilium and the underwriting area with Rockstone. Within Rockstone, there is 3 verticals, which is like consumer, commercial, and specialties. And there is a lot of MGAs. So obviously for those that don't know, reinsurance is the insurer of the insurer.
Okay. Yes.
And Aventum has been growing a lot, and they are going through like a truly transformation from a data point of view and new technology as well in terms of the innovation. We are literally leveraging like advanced analytic. We have been putting in place like a completely new data architecture using like those kind of cutting edge tools to make sure that we are at the top of the game. And we are also now moving towards the improving like the decision making towards like obviously data accuracy and also like making sure that we can predict, events, because I do believe like Aventum is not only a company that plays risk, but is also like focusing on creating the value and delivering outcome for the business.
Right. I love how you mentioned that Aventum is not just a company and focuses on value. And I think when we talk about value, I think data and innovation, they all like come in place together. Exactly. Yes. So yeah, incredible. Don't you think data is more than just numbers on a spreadsheet? I mean, it's much more than that, right? And how do you see data evolving from being a simple asset to being a key driver for innovation or success?
Yes, I agree with you. Data is not only numbers on a spreadsheet. I think I did say it earlier, but data basically is one of the biggest assets of a company. The companies will take decision based on that data. They would like obviously making sure that if we take like the field of like Aventum, we would make sure that, we don't write like policy where like there is like a location of high risk, for example. That's where like we see the value of having the right data in the right place. So yeah, data bring value for sure for the companies. Everyone in the company need to treat data as an asset.
Right.
Data is a product. You need to be seen as like this world-class citizen, for the company, because it will help to enhance business decision, making sure that they take the right decision at the right time for the right place as well, to obviously grow the outcome of the company, but also like create like more value for that company, across the internal people, the employees, but also outside, like the awareness, the brand awareness of the company.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Data is not just a byproduct of a business operation. It's become the fuel to drive everything.
Yes, 100%. Related to operation efficiency, isn't it? It's really important. And with data now, we can automate a lot of things as well, which reduce the pain for like people, Remember back in the day, and even in Aventum as well at the beginning, like those data dev, like doing endless manual work to get to like something and a result. But also actually data help the business for that. The business like can be quite frustrated sometimes, like to do those manual work, repetitive tasks as well, just to get like some data or result to be able to actually work on their daily basis. And yeah, so like the automation of data is really important for that, because then the business can really transform, but like more focusing on the strategy, which is something that they were not doing because there was like too many manual work to do, and we have only a certain amount of hours in a day.
So yeah, automation is actually top of the table for all businesses these days. And innovation and data, I think, go hand in hand always when it comes to focusing on such things.
Yes, 100%.
Thank you. So, could you share a story where data led to a better business decision or changed the course of a project at Aventum?
That's a good question. I would say basically the data in Aventum is in a certain state. As I said earlier, the business grew exponentially. There is a massive need for this transformation, right? And making sure that we organize the data properly.
Right.
But on top of that also is making sure that we get a good home for the data. So I would say like to make sure that we can take the right decision with data, we need to centralize and unify the data into a central repository, making sure that, we go through those phases and cleansing with the data to make sure that we can provide the right
build a safer space, you mean?
Yes.
Within your organization.
Exactly, like related to our data governance and data security, all the aspects really of data lifecycle, to make sure that we can actually provide the right actionable insight to the business. And this after can go like through portfolio management, risk, submission, and there will be like all sorts of data that they need. As like, for example, right now, we got like all those events in Los Angeles with the fire.
Right.
So this will be like very valuable to understand, like from a property point of view and from an insurance point of view, what is happening there on exposure data and location data, and creating all those models. So like we understand the risk moving forward.
So a lot of research may be going into this, right? So you must be putting in a lot of time into the background research for it.
Yes, to understand, like what is going on, what is the impact for the business.
Right.
Because obviously at the back of that, there will be probably some claims coming on. And this is like obviously something that we need to be looking at always, every time that there is something that happened.
Absolutely.
Last year when I joined was more about the storm. I think it was the name of Sarah Fowler's storm in the Jamaican island.
Oh, okay.
And there was a lot going on as well there.
Okay, right. So having a strong base of your research and understanding about these issues and topics is very much of importance, I feel.
Very important.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Data accuracy. This is why for me, like really the decision and the focus is data governance. We need to make sure that data governance is in place. And the data governance is not only the data doing all of this. The data governance is actually an initiative and a framework for everyone in the business to be able to treat the data as an asset and understanding, having that common data language. So everyone speaks the same language when it comes to data, but also making sure that we got an agreement of what is the single version of truth for everyone, right? So it comes like to calculation, exposure, the risk exposure, how do we calculate that? So that's an example. So we need to make sure we all agreed. So then moving forward, we got this single version of truth, and that's where we can start to take like proper decision.
Right. So the core of understanding is always data.
Yes, always.
Yes.
It's all about data.
So now let's talk a little bit about what really excites you and what do you see as the future of business intelligence and data analytics?
Okay. So what really excites me is obviously the whole project, right? The whole starting from scratch, making sure that we reorganize the data, because obviously the data can tell us a lot of stories.
Yes.
And I want to empower the business with that data, making sure that they can take, the right decision based on like the different aspects of the business, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So what excites me is the journey, first of all. So we always, of course, talk about data analytic, but before to be able to get that story up and running, I would say, to enhance like business decision, we have a lot of background work to do, and which is obviously organizing the data. So like reorganizing it, making sure that we centralize everything, that we create like some data model, that we design a solution that is more scalable, and then after we can like centralize that data with, like, between all those different data sources, combine the data together, creating like powerful models.
Mm-hmm.
But before to create the models, we need to also work on data security aspect, data governance, as I mentioned before. So all of those little components as part of like data is really important for me. Creating the single version of truth with like the MDM, the master data management piece as well. It's quite exciting because it's this one central repository to create the golden record of the company.
Yeah.
All the enterprise data should be sitting there, and that's for me is all of this is quite exciting. And after that, yes, once the data is all organized, you can create a model and create those models that would learn over time. So we got the machine learning aspect, and obviously the AI aspect is something that is quite exciting. There is a lot that can be done now in that aspect, and it kind of like really help people, empower people. From my point of view, it really does empower people. And obviously in this aspect of like writing policy or like the claims part, there will be like a lot of data model that can be like done moving forward once we got the data into one place.
Right.
We got our innovation team has been doing a lot of experiments on sample data, and that's quite the next step, right? The excitement of the next step to try. Once everything is in place, the foundation is in place, then that will be the next step. Like very exciting to take those experiments as like more on the real life data that we got
to experiment in real time, right?
Exactly.
So there's potential for growth, and
it's big potential.
Right.
I think this is why I also take on board that Aventum.
Okay, that's really great to know. So can you talk a bit about how AI is shaping Aventum's data strategy?
I think it's shaping it as like acceleration and race. They love the Formula One. I don't know if you know that one.
Really?
They are very into that, because of the son of the CEO. But yeah, clearly the way he shaped the data strategy was really acceleration, making sure that we very quickly build the foundation. Because as mentioned before, the foundation is really important. We need to have the base, this beautiful, it's beautiful to me, this data architecture, the design need to be here. We need to have this scalable solution for the business to make sure that we can tackle, all the subject that will be happening in Aventum. So like they shape it like, very quickly. Then after is more related to this kind of level 2 of the data strategy that I call data curation and cataloging, because I think it's really important to have a common data language, to have data governance strategy in place, all those processes as well when it comes to data, making sure that we got those business rules applied, and the validation as well of the data from source to a downstream system as well. So all of that need to be in place to obviously get AI moving forward. So because the way of everything is now, everything is very go quickly. So you make me like to go quite quick as well on the data strategy in Aventum, at least on the level 1 and 2, because the level 3 of the data strategy is related to obviously data science, machine learning, and AI, like LLM model that we want to put in place. We might do a bit more before, it's in terms of the data migration, just because of the setup of some of our data source. But this is something we're still in discussion within the data team.
Well, it's always inspiring to know how AI blends in, and how data helps AI give the results that it wants to, or it's built for actually. So now, can you tell me a bit about how has the partnership with ADROSONIC helped Aventum on its data journey, and what really stood out for you?
Yes, so I have a lot of people from ADROSONIC in the data team, but we also got people in the tech team actually, like from ADROSONIC. I would talk of the data team. For me, like they're really outstandingly beautiful people. Like they are very passionate, very willing to take on board any challenges and turn this into opportunities. And for me, this is really beautiful to see. And what I really love with the data team is that they don't shy away to help each other. So if someone doesn't know something or got a little problems or challenge, together they will find solution. And that's for me very very beautiful to see for a team, right? So we are all literally growing together and evolving together. And remember, I told you I only get involved if I evolve.
Yes,
so we are evolving together, and I think this is beautiful.
So collaboration is really the key. Yeah?
Of course, yes. Collaboration is the best. And again, this week, being here in India, seeing the people in face-to-face, really collaborating, doing those training together, workshop, everyone, seeing everyone interacting with each other and collaborate on framework, on how we want to work together, moving forward, on how to do data migration, because that will be a big piece of work for us as a data team. It's beautiful. And also we created a little video, a little surprise for the business. So all together, explaining what is the tools that we use for data governance that we will use, which is MDM. So we will see when it go live. So now, it's beautiful. So we have fun as well. It's not only about just working. We do work out, but we also have fun while working. And I think that's what I really appreciate the partnership.
So what really stood out for you from ADROSONIC?
The positivity of people and the willingness of learning, always growing.
Well, learning is always the base and the key. Yes.
But positivity for me is the best. I come to them whatever is the task, they would just smile and
Take
okay, I'm doing it, and they just go with it.
Yes.
And for me that's beautiful.
That's really great to know, and we're so glad that Aventum and ADROSONIC have this great partnership. Yeah. So I have one last question for you before we, end this segment. What is the one piece of advice you'd like to give to companies that are starting on their own data journey?
I would say having a purpose, because you can do many things, but if you don't have the purpose, how can you achieve actually the goals, right? So you need to understand the goals to be able to achieve things. And I would actually talk about Simon Sinek. So he talked about this golden cycle. We all know what we are doing, how we are doing it, but why? Why are we doing this? And I think that would be the
core of it all.
Exactly. Yes. So understanding the why would be
what and why drives you. Absolutely right. Exactly. It's a beautiful answer. Actually, it's the right answer for anyone who'd like to start off with anything in their life. Actually, the purpose is what matters the most.
Yes, that's what drives everything.
Thank you. Most underrated data trend?
Underrated. Storytelling. Telling a story with data. I think it's quite underrated.
Yeah, it's actually interesting. Yeah. And the best advice you've received about innovation?
Start small, learn fast.
Okay.
So kind of fail fast, learn fast, and keep evolving.
Nice. Your favorite podcast or a book on data or tech?
Let's talk data.
Okay. And one skill every data professional should have?
Curiosity. Because you need to be curious to ask the right question to understand, what is the purpose of that, and then also curiosity within the data bases.
Adelaide, I must say I'm loving your answers.
Oh.
Purpose and then curiosity. I think you're getting it so right. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I try to be very spontaneous as much as I can.
Yes. So the last question. If not working in data or insurance, what would you be doing?
Many things. Probably creating a community. That's something I really want to do one day, is to create a space, or there is different aspects in that space. So obviously art, because I love art. I always dream about this big space of all the world, people can just paint on it.
Yeah.
So there will be people expressing themselves with painting or, through drawing, but also having a lot of book everywhere. So then people can learn, read, having a moment, and obviously a lot of music, a lot of vinyls everywhere. And this space is really for everyone to come in and share experiences. That would be something I would love to create one day.
That's amazing. I hope I also get to be a part of such a space.
I will do it in Mumbai as well.
And I hope you get to create it as well. Well, that's a wrap for today's episode. And a couple of takeaways before we sign off. Data is powerful, but it's the way we use it that makes all the difference in the world. And it's helping businesses make smarter choices and drive innovation. And, data in today's world is just more than numbers. I think it's the fuel for everything that we have today.
Yes, it is.
Big thanks to you, Adelaide, to, share your insights and experience with us. We were so excited to have you here, and we hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as we did.
I've really enjoyed it. And thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.